It's Thursday, January 5th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daily. Stephen, my friend on Facebook, says, "Hey, Pastor, I have a question. How can I spice up my prayer life? I feel like it's gotten very repetitive. I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over." Stephen, maybe you are. I get this question a lot, honestly. I chose Stephen's question, but a lot of you ask the same thing. What do you do with your prayer life? How do you really pray effectively? And it's a great question. Well, I imagine the place we really ought to start is by defining prayer. And I think at its simplest definition, it's this. Prayer is communication with God, period. Now, it doesn't end there, it starts there. It takes on all kinds of different angles and different roads as you begin to explore prayer and as you begin to pray effectively. But what does that really mean, to pray effectively? Now, Stephen, you're saying that you feel like you're praying the same thing over and over again. It's getting a little repetitive and you want to spice it up a bit. But let's take this example and compare it to marriage. And Stephen, I know you're married, so let's use that example. What if every morning when you woke up, you said, "Good morning, honey, I love you very much. I hope you have a great day. See you later," and you repeated that every single day? Do you think there would come a time when you didn't feel that and your wife didn't feel that? When your communication with each other would get really stale? Maybe after the second day? We feel like we have to legislate or organize or really define our prayer life with God. And we don't do that naturally, but we do it with Him for some reason. Prayer is communication with a Father who loves you, who made you, who died for you, and wants the very best for you. And isn't it interesting that we pray repetitively and that we pray with a system instead of open communication? And Stephen, I would say that you ought to probably pray to God a whole lot like you communicate with your wife. Tell Him what's on your heart. What if the same thing is on your heart every single day? Then say the same thing every single day. You probably do that with your wife as well. As long as something's bothering you, you probably talk about it. If you have a great day, you talk about it. If your day sucks, you talk about it. If you're confused, you talk about it. If you're frustrated, you talk about it. Have you ever had a little argument with your wife? I imagine you have, if you've been married more than 3 days. Sometimes we have that with God too. God, why are you doing this? God, I feel like you don't love me right now. God, I feel like you're 1,000 miles away right now. You see, all of those are very valid prayers. Why? Because they're communication with God, which is really what prayer is all about. If you have one of those prayer lives that you've learned in a weekend seminar, the 5 points to prayer, whatever, I really dislike those personally, because I don't think they're personal, and I don't think they're valid many times. I don't need to be instructed how to pray to God. I simply need to open up my heart to communication and speak openly and honestly. Some people say, well, you should start prayer with thanksgiving. I don't always feel like starting it with thanksgiving. When you're having that argument with your wife, Stephen, you probably don't feel like Thanksgiving either. You want to get to the heart of the matter. You don't feel very good, and you don't want to say, "Oh, honey, I love you so much. You're so beautiful today." You want to say, "Honey, I don't like you very much right now. We really need to talk." That's honest. That's how you solve problems. And folks, don't approach God with things that aren't real and valid. Open up your heart and begin to speak. Because prayer isn't about words. It's about your heart. And I have a really good feeling that God doesn't really pay all that much attention to your words anyway. He listens to your heart. That's what He loves. That's how He created you. That's how He wants to communicate as well. Stephen, I hope that helps. And I hope that's able to help you to spice up your prayer life. God bless you. Have a great day.